It's my move, and I play Protecting Spirit Loageth, and she lets me... If this card on the field, you can target one monster on the field. You can only use each of the following effects. If an effect of a fairy monster you control is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. One attack position monster you control, change your monster to defense position. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what this thing does. Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I'd like to sit back in my very, very, very squeaky chair, relax, and have a little conversation with all of you guys about selling online and growth in the world of collectibles, cardboard, and trading card games. You see, if you're relatively new to the world of TCG finance, if you're new to the buying and selling side of the whole ordeal that is trading card games, then you may have experienced this at some point. You just opened your TCG account or your eBay account and you started selling some cards. You've listed a sizable inventory, either your own personal collection or stuff you have sourced from buying boxes or collections or bulk, whatever have you. And it takes a bit. Obviously, it takes a bit. You are a brand new seller with zero feedback, so it takes a while for some people to take a risk with you, whether it's buying enough cards to fill out their deck, or maybe you just happen to have that one card they finally need for a binder. Whatever it is, eventually you do get some sales. And, you know, after you initially put up that inventory of yours, there's a nice little moment of time where you have some really good sales. And then you have a lot of cards left in your inventory, and there's not a lot of cards selling. It seems like after that initial wave of people finally trusting you enough as a new seller to start buying stuff from you, those nice reviews came in and all that jazz. It seems after that, while there was a nice little boost in sales for a bit, it's kind of died down. And you still have loads of inventory left, but nothing has really been moving. And you ask yourself, well, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? You try a few things. You change the prices. You take some things down. Maybe maybe move things from eBay to TCG Player. There's a bunch of things you can try. Maybe sending offers out, for instance, on eBay. But one thing you haven't been doing really is adding a lot to your inventory. Especially, you don't want to do that right now because what you already have online isn't selling. And that's what I want to talk about today. The little trap that some people find themselves in, because this is something that loads of people experience. They will throw an initial inventory plus some more cards as it comes in onto TCG Player or eBay. They'll get their initial sales, especially if they have any popular or really necessary cards for whatever card game they're playing. But after that initial wave goes through, if they're not adding cards frequently, regularly to these platforms, they'll find that their sales kind of teeter off. Even though they still have loads and loads of cards, they'll find that their sales will teeter off after that initial injection of inventory. And there is a reason for that, okay? Depends on the platform, obviously. There's different kinds of reasons. But the biggest one is, in general, having more inventory is good. Period. Okay? The larger your inventory and the more diverse that inventory is, the more likely it is that you're going to find someone on a random day who's interested in purchasing a random card from you. You see, TCG Player especially is a massive, well-organized market where it's very easy for people to find all the cards they're looking for in just a few minutes. Someone who wants to build a deck through TCG Player can do so very easily these days. And what's more important is on TCG Player, if you're a buyer, you are incentivized to get as many cards as possible from a single seller all at once, just to save that little bit of extra money on shipping fees. Because, yeah, people are cost conscious right now. They have to be, obviously. So when you have a market where your competition is not just with every other seller, but with every item in their inventory, it is in your best interest as a seller to have as diverse an inventory as possible to attract as wide a possible net of customers as possible. Part of the reason I list card games that are maybe not as popular or as likely to sell as the big ones like Magic or Pokemon or whatever is because while they are, I'm going to use Transformers and World of Warcraft as examples. Transformers is a dead card game. It only had a handful of sets, was only around for 2 years. And for the most part, only a handful of cards from that game sell, period, in my experience right now, post end of the game. A lot of stuff from Wave 1 sells really well. If you have a rare, actual, oversized Transformer, it sells pretty decently. But only a few cards that stuff sells. So why am I listing so much of it? Well, if there is someone who's interested, that one guy who's interested in actually building a full Wave 1 collection or building a deck for the game, he's going to see that I have a huge pile of Wave 1 cards, as well as some other stuff from throughout the thing, and he's going to want to get all his stuff from me, assuming that I have everything he wants. Same thing goes with the World of Warcraft game. World of Warcraft is a long dead card game, but that means fewer and fewer people are selling it. So the more of it I have, the more likely it is that someone who's looking for it will see my store, my inventory, what I have for sale, and will want to get most, if not all, of what they're looking for from me. This works so well in collaboration or in concert with your regular inventory, your more flashy inventory. Because, yeah, a lot of people look at these dead card games, these bulk cards from games that nobody really plays anymore, and they think it's not worth listing. And you know what? In all fairness, okay, in all fairness, if you do not have the space, if you do not have the time, it may not be worth it. If you only have a closet to work out of, if you only have a spare bedroom to work out of, if you only have your bedroom to work out of, and you have a 4,000 count long row boxes in your inventory, it's probably not honestly worth it to list dead card games in their bulk, right? Because you're trying to maximize your potential profits with your space. But if you have something like what I've got, or like what a lot of people got, where you have a lot of extra room, you have the space to store all these extra cards, having as diverse an inventory as you can is really a boon, because all of your inventory works together. Because believe it or not, there's loads of people out there who are not just looking for cards from one game. They're going to see that you have some World of Warcraft cards that they've been looking for a while, that's been in the back of their mind. They're not really hankering for it, but if you have it, well then, you know, it's just a nice little bonus. If you happen to have that one Digimon card they've kind of wanted for a deck for a while to try out, well then, that's a nice bonus. All the time, I get some of my biggest orders, not my biggest orders, because my biggest orders continue to be Force of Will. I don't know what it is with that game. You get loads of Force of Will orders that are just huge. But some of my biggest orders are people who aren't buying from one game. They're buying from like 2 or 3 games at once. Sometimes there's people who are buying, for instance, Flesh and Blood cards and some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or Pokemon cards and some Magic cards. Especially if an order gets to be like more than 100 cards, there's a very likely chance that there are cards from multiple different TCGs in that order. That works well, and it shows that having cards from a variety of games will help attract just a bit more potential for a customer to grab as much as they can from you. Because, yeah, if someone sees that you only have 2 or 3 cards they're looking for from one game, sure, they might buy them, especially if you're the cheapest option. But if they see that you have a bunch of cards they might be interested in from a bunch of different card games, the chance of a sale increases exponentially. And this factors up immensely when you take into consideration all of the people who are always buying and selling on TCG Player. It's a huge list. Every day there's all sorts of people buying from all sorts of games, all sorts of collectibles, etc. And they're going through every store looking for the best deal, the best bang for their buck across all potential card games. Yeah, there are loads of people out there who are only buying Pokemon cards, who are only buying Magic cards, who are only buying, I don't know, I want to say Yu-Gi-Oh, but we know that that's not true right now. Flesh and Blood cards. It's definitely true that there's loads of people who are only buying from one card game, and if you are hyper-focused on one card game, that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you may not have the room, the time, etc. to do as much of a variety as possible, but if you have the opportunity to, don't look at the cards from even dead card games as worthless stock, because the chance of someone wanting that stuff just as a nice little bonus on their inventory, especially if you already have other cards that they want, it adds up. It adds up quick. I always worry that I'm really bad at articulating what I'm trying to say in these videos because I'm not the best at speaking. But this is one of those topics that I feel really strongly about, and I always worry that I fail to articulate it well. But if you are going to if you have a choice between two stores, if you go to the middle of town and there's two grocery stores right next to each other, and you buy at one and it has a lot of stuff that you really like at a really good price, compared to one that is maybe cheaper for some of the things you want, but they don't have as much of what you want, there's a convenience factor going into play too, and that does apply to online deals. So being the convenience store is, in some cases, better than being the cheapest possible store. If people can get as much as possible from you as they'd like, there is just that slight increase in chance of better sales in the future, especially if you can get repeat customers. Some of my best sales are for repeat customers who just happen to like what I've got on offer. Again, especially for Force of Will. Crazy game, that one. Looking forward to that new set. But yeah, there's a lot, I think, to be said of being frugal with your space, frugal with your time, and not slapping everything on TCG Player L at once. Obviously, you should be aware of the better selling cards for the various card games. Don't go grabbing every single Star Wars Unlimited card you could possibly get your hands on and tossing that onto your inventory all at once, right? That's maybe not going to do so well for you, right? But if you know that you are well researched in Star Wars Unlimited, throwing what you have onto TCG Player at good rates, good prices, and supplementing that inventory with stuff from other card games like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or the World of Warcraft TCG, spreads your net wide enough that, chances of someone wanting your Star Wars stuff just because you have other things they might want, it's good. It's good. Anyway, I feel like I'm going to ramble far too long about this kind of topic. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is diversity is good in many walks of life. And I've said before that I very much desire diversity in the world of TCGs. Diversity of choice is a very good option, not just for players, but for stores. Because, if Magic the Gathering's having a really bad month, but you have a diverse enough inventory, this is a good crux of the video here. If Magic's having a terrible month, the new, what's next? The Star Trek? I think Star Trek is next. The new Star Trek set comes out, and it's an absolute flop, just like all of Star Trek. And you have just loads of Star Trek boxes, packs, and singles that are not selling really well. If all you have is Magic the Gathering to work with, and Magic's not selling well then you might not be in a great position. But if you have Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and Flesh and Blood and Sorcery and whatever, name a card game, if you have it and you have the ability to list it, if you have other card games that are picking up the slack, a bad month for Magic isn't the end of the world, because you have other things picking up the slack, making sales, and ensuring that even if it's not a great month for Magic, some of it's moving anyway, because sure, maybe the Star Trek set is a absolute dud, but some of the cards are moving just because there's these guys grabbing cards from other card games who may want an extra Star Trek card or two just for the hell of it, right? So I feel like that was a better way to explain my position. At least I hope. I hope it was. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to end this video here. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me. Or, if you think I'm absolutely crazy, I aren't, by the way. Check out the Discord, check out the Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.